All right, let's just dive right into this fascinating and, let's be honest, pretty dangerous world. But we're not going to look at it as outsiders. We're going to look at it as if we were trying to make it. So forget what you've seen in the movies, because we're about to break down the real corporate ladder of organized crime.
Have you ever seriously wondered what it actually takes to climb those ranks? We're going to walk through the entire career path, step by treacherous step, starting right at the very bottom, a place where you're not even a blip on the radar.
So your journey begins right here. You're just a local kid on the street. You see the wise guys, right? The sharp suits, the fancy cars, the jewelry, and you see the fear and the respect they command. And you think, I want a piece of that. But before you can even dream of getting inside, you've got to prove you're worth their time.
And notice the shift here. As a hangaround, you're fetching coffee, washing Cadillacs. You're a liability they're testing out. But if you prove yourself useful, you graduate to an associate. And now you're an asset they can profit from. You're officially a professional criminal. But that comes with a really serious catch.
This brings us to a really crucial concept, kicking up. It's basically the economic engine that powers this entire thing. So if you hijack a truck for, say, 10 grand, a piece of that, maybe 3 grand, it goes directly to the soldier who sponsors you. And here's the thing. Holding back even a single dollar is considered stealing from the family. And that's a mistake that gets you disappeared.
So after years of earning, proving your loyalty, and maybe even doing a prison sentence where you kept your mouth shut, you enter the most dangerous phase of your career. This is the final vetting process to become a full sworn member. And they are digging into your entire life. I mean, everything. Can you make money? Can you keep your mouth shut when the pressure's on? And this is the big one. Is your bloodline pure? You have to be 100% Italian on your father's side, one distant relative who was a rat, one embarrassing bar fight, and your career is over. Permanently. But if you pass this incredibly intense background check, you get the call. It's just 2 words. Dress up. And that's it. This is the moment your life changes forever, and you know exactly what it means.
You walk into a quiet room, could be a basement, a back room somewhere, and you take part in this secret, ancient ceremony. They'll prick your trigger finger, letting your blood drop right onto the image of a saint. And as it burns in your hand, you swear an oath of loyalty for life.
And that's the transformation. You are now a made man. You're untouchable. If some outsider hits you now, they've just declared war on the entire family. You are finally inside that circle of trust, and you're protected by a code of silence and, of course, violence. Okay, let's move on to your new life as a soldier. You're in, but this is absolutely no time to relax. Your role changes now. You go from being a hands-on criminal to being a supervisor of crime. But that doesn't mean your hands won't still get dirty. See, you now have your own crew of associates, and they're paying you a cut. And you, in turn, kick up a share of that to your captain. Your job is to manage the rackets. But when the boss decides someone needs to go, an order comes down that chain, and refusal, that is just not an option. You know, some soldiers, they're great earners. But if your particular talent is for violence, you might be given this very specific and very feared job title. You're the one they send when a message needs to be delivered physically. It's a necessary role, for sure, but a lonely one. Even your own crew is afraid of you.
Getting made is one thing, but rising to a position of real leadership, a captain, or as they call them, a capo, that requires surviving some treacherous internal politics. You have to prove you can manage people just as well as you can manage crime. You might first get a taste of this power as an acting capo. Maybe your captain gets indicted or has a heart attack. And this is a really dangerous test. If you do a bad job, you're in trouble. But if you do too good of a job, the captain might think you're trying to take his spot. It's a total razor's edge. As a full capo, your life is basically like being a high-stakes executive. You have to meet your earnings quota for the boss no matter what. You have to settle disputes like a judge to keep your crew from falling apart. And you're the buffer. You take the heat from the feds to protect the boss. And in this business, being replaced, well, it often means being executed. Now, in this world, there are also these niche but incredibly powerful roles. Take the messenger. This is a diplomat who can travel between all the 5 families, carrying sensitive information that can never be written down or spoken on the phone. These guys are trusted to literally prevent wars. All right, so finally, if you've survived the street wars, the prison sentences, the backstabbing, if you've survived all of it, you might reach the inner sanctum. This is where just 3 key positions run the entire organization.
First up, the Consigliere, or the counselor. This person doesn't command soldiers. They command influence. They're the boss's most trusted advisor. They usually have a sharp legal mind. And get this, they're the only one you can look the boss in the eye and tell him he's making a mistake.
Next, the Underboss. Think of this guy as the chief operating officer. All the capos report to him. He runs the family's day-to-day operations and acts as another layer of insulation to protect the boss. But as the heir apparent, he's the #1 target for both the FBI and ambitious rivals.
And then, at the very top, is the boss. Your power is absolute. You're like a ghost in the machine. You whisper an order, and days later, it's just done. But your reign, it only ends one of 3 ways: in a hospital bed, a prison cell, or on the pavement. There is no retirement from this job.
So you've made it. You survived, and you clawed your way to the top of the pyramid. You have all the power, all the money. But after a lifetime of violence and betrayal, the ultimate prize really just seems to be ultimate paranoia. What do you think?